Hello and welcome to episode 1 of Beer with the Boys. We are in BGC.
The BGC.
You think that's going to catch on?
Right.
It's not. Welcome to our group chat, and this is episode 1. And right now, today, we are at Wolfgang's on the corner right off of High Street, right across from the museum, the Mine Museum. And High Street is behind us. And if you go that direction, you'll run into the Burgos Circle and Forbes-Town Road. So today, what we're going to do today is we're going to do a little talk about dating, and we'll do some question and answers from the emails. So we'll check out the mailbag too. So let's get started. My name is JJ. This is Steve
From Hello Paradise.
Yeah, from Hello Paradise, and of course this is the jjthelonelybullinasia. So you can see the palms blowing in the breeze. It's a beautiful day, and let's talk about dating in the Philippines. So you've been here a year, I've been here 2 years. We've had various experiences dating.
Came to the expert.
You are the
Now that I know what the subject is, now I know why you wanted me here.
Dr. Steve is going to tell us all about dating in the Philippines, what not to do. Everything he says, just do the opposite. That's usually a good thing, whether it's gambling, whether it's investments, whatever. So, and that's by your admission.
Gambling with my heart, yeah. It hasn't paid off too well.
All right, so first thing I want to talk about is dating apps. Are dating apps a bad thing? I think they are. I think they're a bad thing. I think if you go on dating sites to try to find a Filipina, you're going to either get into a scam situation.
Just dating in the Philippines?
We're just talking Philippines right now. We're not talking the West. We're just talking the Philippines. So, dating in the Philippines, dating sites, there's opportunities to get scammed. There's transactional dating. So these ladies are like all excited to meet you, and then they tell you that, oh, by the way, it's going to cost you for a short time, or I'm looking for a sugar daddy. If you want to be my boyfriend, you gotta come up with a scratch. Also, you might run into lady boys that aren't telling you up front that they're not born 100% female. So
I don't have that problem.
And the other problem I have with dating apps now, so you don't have any of that problem. Okay, I know we have.
I'm just joking. Yes, we have a friend. Yes, the best date of his life. This girl loved to talk about sports, gambling, crypto.
Could beat him in arm wrestling.
And then the second date, she told him, you know, I wasn't born a girl. So he was all upset because the best date of his life. I don't know what you should tell him, but I think you ought to tell him something.
Yeah. He did have a third date, though, didn't he?
I thought it was before the second. Yeah, he didn't tell us about dates 3, 4, and 5. He just told us about date number 1. You know, we don't really know the rest of it.
All right. So the other issue I have with dating apps is
you don't want any response to that.
It's to what?
Your critiques, point by point. I can't remember your
point by point. Well, yeah. Go ahead and respond. Transactional.
So transactional. So here's what I would in scams. Mm-hmm. So this is why I think it's important not to just talk the Philippines. I had friends in the U.S. who are on dating sites, okay, and people are all upset around them, all their family, everybody, because these guys are talking about they're in love with a Russian, they're in love with a Ukrainian, they're in love with somebody, but it costs them 10 cents per email to, communicate with them, right? These women are professional at, hi, how are you this morning? Like, sure. That's it. And then you write a big long email and you get a one-liner back with a question, what do you mean? And it's just money going in and stuff. My experience in the U.S., so that was, you've got that going on worldwide. You've got it whether you're sitting in the United States, you're over here, but if you're looking worldwide, you're going to get these websites that are scams to begin with, that they aren't real women to begin with. But I think in the United States, it's real easy for guys to figure out what's a scam, because if you are, I'll pick a number, we'll say 60, and you're on a dating app and you come across a bunch of 21-year-old women or 25-year-old women, and they're suddenly interested in you, you pretty clearly, you're sitting in New York and a 21-year-old wants to talk to you. You can pretty much figure out this isn't real, hopefully. Okay, I have friends that can't figure that out. I've tried to work with them, but hopefully you can figure out in the United States there's no such thing as a 40-year age gap, 20-year age gap, 30. I mean, very rarely, unless you're very rich, and then you don't need dating advice from us.
You don't need a dating app.
Yeah, and you don't need a dating app.
I get that all the time. I get these Facebook Messenger requests. It's like, I've been following your Facebook page, and unfortunately I haven't been able to connect with you. I would love to blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Block.
Right. But
because you look them up and it's like, they have
you look
they
them
have 400
up.
followers.
I know.
And they're all male.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa. And they're all 60 plus. And she's like 22. It's like,
I don't need to look it up. If any woman reaches out to me, I know it's a scam. I don't. Any pictures of me aren't that good enough to like. But I was showing my friends, look, this isn't real stuff, and I was like, let me go on Tinder in Chicago. I changed my dating range that I was interested in to be 21 to 23 in Chicago. And it's loaded with, beautiful women. I just picked everybody, just swiped for like half an hour or whatever. And I got 100 matches, so I stopped at 100 matches. You really think there's 100 women interested in me in Chicago that are age 21? No, right? But I got 100 matches. They say they were, and I just sat there and showed my friends that, didn't quite get it. Every single one of them, hey, I like to trade crypto. Do you like to trade crypto? That was about half of them, okay? Yeah, put your money into my crypto trading platform so that we can steal it.
Right.
So dating, what I would say is
worldwide.
Worldwide is scams, but what I would say is why guys get messed up in the Philippines is that a 20-year age gap, a 10-year age gap, 30-year is real here in the Philippines. And guys are sitting there in the U.S. There's nothing telling you that this 21-year-old or this 30-year-old is necessarily fake just because she likes you. And in the Philippines, maybe they do like you, okay? And that's why you're highly susceptible. Every scammer in the world that is running scams is going to post a picture of a beautiful 25-year-old model and see what kind of guys they can fish. They're not posting 40-year-old, 50-year-old models, right? They're posting 25 young girls. You don't fall for that in the United States. Very easy for guys to get confused here in the Philippines that this is some guy sitting in Russia who has one picture in his profile and is talking to you. And so it's real easy to get into scammers here. And not because of Filipinas that are bad. It's because worldwide people are loading up photos of young girls, and you're falling for it in the Philippines. You're not falling for it in America.
Here's another thing that I don't like about dating sites is the dating site itself, the algorithms of the dating site. So a lot of these dating sites, they have a free version, which is what I always use. When I'm on dating sites, I never pay for anything. So what you see is just a small percentage of what's available, and they're not that great. the options you see are not that great.
It may not be real.
So, right. Well, they're probably real.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not saying they're not real, but you don't have a good option if you're not paying, because the whole point of having a dating site is to get people to pay for it, and not just pay for it, to keep paying for it. So when you start paying, you think the dating site wants you to find your match right away and get off the dating site and stop paying and go get married? No. They'll give you a little more. They'll give you a little more rope, show you a little more good-looking women, but they're not going to match what your algorithms are. So these girls, they may be in the age range, they may be in the location, probably not real close, but they're not going to match anything else. So you're going to think, oh, this woman is beautiful. I'm going to reach out to her, and she's like, oh, I'm not. This is what I'm not. This is not what I'm looking for. So you got to keep paying that dating site month after month after month after month, because that's what they want. They want to extend it as long as possible to get you.
Maybe in the United States.
No, that's all over. These dating sites.
But it's hard
if you
to
don't think that, then I'm sorry.
It's hard not to meet somebody within 30 days in the Philippines. Unless, like, I whine about there's too much activity, so I pay to be able to block everybody from contacting me, because your inbox gets full with people.
Well,
and if women are reaching out to you,
do you think
maybe that's, where you get yourself in trouble is,
So
all
Steve says, I sign up for a dating site and I get 500 messages in an hour. How many of those messages are legit?
Yeah, that's why I get flustered with it.
Right.
And so, if they're inbound.
So 450 of them are scams. Another 25 are ladyboy.
Well,
another 20 are
say those person,
transactional.
or they're just, not for me.
So
but I
out
would
of
say
500, maybe 10 are legit, I would say.
I would say 20% are legit, but I do think there, there's, but it gets hard because there's so many people contacting you to meet somebody when you're
sound
inbox.
like our friend.
Well,
I have so many women contacting me.
yeah, but they're
all the
fake
time.
women, right? I mean, so you're getting burdened with some guy sitting in Nigeria, sending you messages, right?
So if you're getting burdened and it's frustrating, then
so that's
what's
why
a
I
better
block.
way to date? What's a better way to find your Filipino?
But I'm lazy and I don't want to leave my condo. So it depends on how energetic you are.
So you're no help.
Yeah,
So
no. Well, I think though there's a lot of people. We have friends. Very hard for them to get up the courage to go walk around and introduce themselves and meet different people. So I think dating apps are great if you're not Mr. Social to go go meet people in real life. That can be hard.
yeah, it's true. And you don't want to. I mean, I've heard a million times, like, go to these places where the workers are like, they work at the call center or they work at the mall and just hang out there until they get off work. That's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
That's a little like, oh, I'm just going to hang out at the schoolyard.
Right. No.
I wouldn't suggest hanging out at the call centers until the girls get off work.
No.
That's kind of a creeper kind of thing.
Yeah. Or even approaching anybody while they're working.
Or while they're working. I mean, you can if they show an interest in you first.
Yeah.
I don't see any problem with
if there's clear interest on their part, that's right.
Like I've been at SMR mall or a mall where I'm checking out, and the Filipina that's checking me out, she'll ask me, "Are you single, sir?
Okay.
Are you dating anyone?"
See, that's why for dating apps, if women are asking you that, then you don't need a dating app.
Right.
No, nobody asks me that, so that's why I need a dating app.
But of course, she's a 65-year-old.
Oh, well,
mother of 12 and has 14 grandkids.
Sure. But
man, she was a fun day.
Yeah. So I do think I think dating apps are good. You just have to be careful. You just have to know. You have to use some common sense. Women aren't necessarily. I mean, I over filter, so I start to think. The quality higher end women probably aren't pursuing me. My picture's not good enough, so I kind of just discount anybody that's reaching out to me. Is my perspective on it. I just feel like that saves me from the scams and from the different things. Is not to let anybody reach out to me.
All right, so it's Beers with the Boys here at Wolfgang's today. We're enjoying San Mig Light Draft for their happy hour. Plus, you get some really nice chips, and that's bottomless. That's unlimited with their special barbecue sauce too. So enjoy it. And this is a great location because it's right on the corner, and so you get a nice breeze first of all. But the parade, what we call the parade, is really good. So you get a lot of people walking by, and it's fun if you're a people watcher. So hope you're enjoying yours as well. So dating apps. So if dating apps aren't a thing, what about other social media? Is there something that I mean, I know there's Facebook dating group or app or something like that.
My last girlfriend in the U.S. I met through Facebook dating, the one and only. So that person I met through Facebook was real, and but I tried Facebook dating here in the Philippines, and it was all obviously robotic, fake messages.
Really?
And sometimes I have other friends too. You know, all the women seem to look, you know, strikingly beautiful, model-esque, and all of a sudden they're writing you scripted messages that make very little sense, that no human would write, and yet 7 different women who are strikingly beautiful write you the same cryptid message, right? And that's all I got on Facebook. I tried it for one day, and
I tried Facebook dating app or whatever it was called, and it wouldn't let me on.
For good reason.
Maybe. I don't know.
That's like, so that's the sales point for all you ladies.
So if you see JJ the Lonely Bullinasia on the Facebook dating, it's not really me. It's some bot probably. That's probably why they went, oh, you're already on there. So, yeah, I've been banned before.
I don't do anything with any social media. Yeah, that's just because I don't like reaching out to women in things in which they aren't knowing that they're not there to date, you know? The Instagram, Facebook.
Right.
I mean, I know guys are very aggressive, you know, but I'm not aggressive.
Well, some guys are. I mean, some guys are kind of timid. I mean, it depends what type of personality they are. If they're an alpha or a beta or a sigma or whatever.
Delta. I'm a Delta.
You're a Delta?
I'm not reaching out to anybody.
I'm a sigma.
I just want to sit there and wait.
All right. So best practices for dating here in the Philippines or Southeast Asia. I mean, we've both been to Thailand. What are some best practices? What have you done that's worked for you, other than the dating apps? And that's trial and error. Seems to be.
Well, if I knew that was the subject, you know, I would have told you. But
you told me not to tell you.
No, I didn't.
You said
I've not met anybody in real life. So I've not met anybody in real life. I had 2 girlfriends. The first one I met within like a day on Filipina Cupid. And I was with her for like 5 months. And then, and I don't know if you call her a girlfriend or not. I was with her in real life for a month. And then I went back to the United States, had no idea I was going to move here. And I just, you know, I would just bring her up on the iPad, and I would point she liked a lot of shows, Game of Thrones or things like that. So I would just put it on TV, and we could watch each other. She could watch the TV. We would just watch the TV together and talk. And so I don't know if you call that a real date. Or a girlfriend. I never called her my girlfriend.
Was she AI?
So, maybe.
Maybe.
No. But, so I don't know, you know, if she was real or not. It's LDR, right? That's, you know, highly suspicious. Are they real or not? I don't really know. I mean, she could have been, she's with me for an hour talking while we watch TV. She could have been with another guy for the next hour. You know, that could have been a full-time job for all I know.
But let me ask you.
But I met her within a day, and I met another one within a day.
When you FaceTimed her, was she in a different hotel room each time?
She had a resort. I did have a date with a woman, a young woman, and she, you know, she works here in a call center. And then she's like, and I was like, she's like, where have you been? I was like, in Boracay. And she's like, I was in Boracay. And she names this resort that's like the top end resort.
Right.
And I'm like, okay. And then she's like, I was just in Palawan. And
I know where this is going.
I'm like, oh yeah? And she's at this top end resort in Palawan.
And she says, oh, Paul, my phone broke. Can you send me money?
so this is the first date.
I need a loan.
Right? First date. And I'm thinking, okay. So, call center girl, traveling the world, 5-star resorts, right? This doesn't sound too probable to me, unless there's something else, you know, there. But she says she's going alone, you know. I said, oh, were you with another AFAM or a foreigner? No, I was by myself. I'm like, you're by yourself going to these resorts. And later on that night, So we're at Jamba Juice, and I'm just talking to her, and she's like, I'm like, I still couldn't just get off this. Like, how did you make this happen? Like, and she's like, okay, well, I didn't want to tell you this, but we've known each other for an hour now, so I think it's okay. So she said, I won't name the company, but she was working for a company, a U.S. company with consumers, and she was stealing their credit cards and taking vacations on their credit cards.
Holy crap.
And she got fired from that job.
No.
And they found out that suddenly, where is this credit card getting used? Buying stuff, sending it to her house, and
she just got fired.
No kidding, right? That's the only suspicious part is why are you not in jail?
Exactly.
But so she said she got fired from that job, and she's like, but I think it's okay because that was like 6 months ago. I'm a different person. Thinking, yeah, you're not getting anywhere around me. I'm like,
Wow.
Jamba Juice is as close as I want to come to you.
I'm not even looking at my credit card.
Right, so.
Okay. All right, so dating apps bad.
Dating apps good.
Dating apps good. Personal interaction good. Personal interaction bad.
No, well, personal, I think it's the best way. It's the best way to go.
But it's harder.
It
because
is.
Obviously you're not gonna, when you sign on a dating app and you get 100 matches in the first 20 minutes or an hour or whatever, you're not gonna run into 100 people that are gonna like you on the street just casually.
You seem to. Yeah, but that's
I got a dude that says, "Hey, I watch your channel."
Oh, right. Hey. Guy, yeah. But but I would say, there's if you're walking down the street, women will look at you, stare into your eyes, and smile at you.
Who?
Both of us.
Oh. How are they staring in your eyes? Like you're a serial killer?
No, right, no. But they will definitely, they will make it abundantly clear and obvious they want you to stop and talk to them or say hello, right? You're very good at just saying hello, and I freeze, the second, because I'm usually kind of oblivious, I'm not looking, and all of a sudden somebody's just walking downstairs.
This is the guy, the first time when he and I met, and he was a subscriber on my channel, we went to Dr. Wine, and he got like 4 phone numbers in like that first hour he was there. So don't let him fool you.
So,
of course, he never even contacted you.
Right.
So. But he got the numbers, so that's a step.
But what would I say there? Now you've got me flustered. So. So now, but they stare at me. I just freeze, and then I can't say hello, and I keep on walking, and then I'm like, I'm not going to go back there and say hello. I feel stupid.
You drugged me back one time. Remember? The girl said hi. We were coming from Agave with a friend of ours, Gary. And
I was much braver. I had like 3 margaritas at that point.
Yeah. And so this girl says hi, and I said hi, and you said hi, and she turns around, we turn around, look at each other, and I start walking away, and you grab my arm and drag me back over to her. Come to find out, she's just a massage therapist who's looking for business, so.
Well, I didn't know that part, but I didn't know how it ended.
Well,
I was trying to be helpful.
Never began,
I was trying to be helpful. Maybe my 3 margaritas clouded my judgment on that one.
Right. Only 3, huh? That's good. Okay, so. Any other best practices for dating?
Well, I have my whole dating app routine. If somebody says, "Hey, baby," their first message.
That's usually a red flag.
That's a red flag.
Really?
Yeah. If somebody wants to meet you tonight, that's usually a red flag. And if she's not worried.
Is it like, does she sound desperate? Is that what you're saying?
No. I think there's something.
If I don't meet somebody tonight, I might just kill myself.
No, but real women. Yeah, I'll call them real. I mean, in my view, I don't want to be
not bots.
Judged like real man, but like my perspective is that a woman should be nervous about meeting me. Mm-hmm. Being alone with a stranger. and meeting a stranger in a city that's not her hometown, like if she's just, hey, I'll go there and meet you right now, I just think something's not right. And I think if she's not scared of meeting me, then I'm kind of scared of meeting her.
We're at Wolfgang's. No affiliation to Wolfgang Puck.
Really?
Yeah, I guess I found that out. But it's Wolfgang Steakhouse, so they got really good steaks here. If you want high end, they've got it here. So if you're looking for high end, real good steaks in the Philippines, come to Wolfgang's. Burgers are great. They got a good happy hour here. We're here. I mean, look how busy it is. I mean, you can't really tell because of the angle of our camera, but it's Tuesday afternoon, and there's solid walking traffic everywhere. So it's kind of that's what's neat about being here in the Philippines and being here in BGC is there's always something going on. There's always some activity. So, but we're here, and this is our episode 1 of the Beer with the Boys, and it's jjthelonelybullinasia with my special guest today, Steve from
@Hello-Paradise.
Hello
Paradise. Expat life in Asia.
All right, so let's we kind of beat a dead horse with that dating thing. So let's move on. I've got some questions that we can go through that I got from my comments on my channel, in some of my videos, and also through my email. And you can email me at jjthelonelybullinasia@gmail.com, and I'll put that down below in the descriptions. But feel free to, and next time we do the next episode 2, maybe we'll answer your question and we'll mention your name on the air too. So that'll be kind of fun. So this one's from Henson Chin 9090. He says, "Hello JJ, thanks for sharing your input with regards to the Philippines. May I also request about the pros and cons living in the U.S., since most of us Filipinos are also willing to work and relocate here in the U.S. Thanks." All right, so Henson Chin 9090. It's been 2 years since I've lived in the U.S. Now, I went back last September. I was there for 6 weeks visiting friends and going to a college reunion. But things have changed in the U.S. It's a lot more expensive than it was when I lived there. The cost of living, everything's gone up. Inflation is through the roof. So even living here in BGC, which is arguably the most expensive district or city, if you will, in the Philippines, it's still about a third of what I would pay if I still lived in the U.S. And that's talking about Midwest. I'm talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma. You know, that's about
most Filipinos aren't going to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
No,
they're going to 5 times that price. New York City, exactly. Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, Vancouver. You know, Vancouver's not America.
Vancouver's in the U.S. Wow.
I consider America, Canada, part of America.
Texas is in Mexico, right? Pros and cons. Obviously, I love my country. I love the Constitution. I love what it stands for. It's a perfect document. To me, it's the most perfect document there is. And from what I understand, also, the Philippines Constitution is kind of based on that, on the U.S. Constitution. So a lot of things in the Philippine government is kind of structured to emulate what the U.S. has. So I love my country. It's a beautiful country. There's so many beautiful things about it. You know, from the Rocky Mountains to the Appalachians to Blue Ridge Mountains, the Smokies. Oh, beautiful for spacious. No, but, and I love my home state of Nebraska. But just the politics and the divisiveness that's going on now, and the corruption and the crime that's going on, along with the cost of living there, that soured me. And when I had the opportunity to move here 2 years ago this month, I took it. And I retired about a year and 2 months ago, last January, and I never looked back. I retired early. I was going to work till I was 70, but I put a pen to paper and I figured, why should I go through I'd have to move back to the States. I'd have to find a job. I had a job. I had a job offer, but it got to be so stressful. I decided that why don't I just stay here? I can retire now and live off what I make now, and be comfortable, be more than comfortable, and enjoy my life. And that's what I'm doing. I enjoy my life. So, I don't know.
My view.
Situation.
Well, my view, if he's Filipino, is much different than an American living in America that grew up in America and had all of the benefits of making money for your whole life, right?
Yeah.
So what I would say is, knowing very little about where he's coming from, so I have to kind of generalize and maybe guess at a couple of things.
Sure.
But if he has an opportunity to go to the United States, what we don't know is, do you mean for work? Or do you mean like you're just moving there? He's got to be an adult.
But we don't know if it's he or she either.
Oh.
It's just Henson, Shin, 99.
I see. So what I would say is America is a fantastic place for making money and making money over a long time career.
It's also a great place to lose money.
Yeah, but if you're American and you're born into a nice, standard of living, the standard of living has gone down. So our savings and our pensions go great over here. But over here in the Philippines, it's very difficult to get a job and earn more than 40,000 pesos. The average family of 5 lives on 25,000 pesos a year. And so you can move to America, and while, don't fantasize too much, I don't think, about the quality of life.
Wait a minute, what did you just say? The average family in the Philippines live on 25,000 pesos a year?
A month.
A month, okay.
300,000 a year.
Okay.
That's right, for a family of 5. So what I would say is, if you're looking for financial gain, definitely America is a good place to go. You can earn a lot. Your standard of living may increase, and even for us, it's decreased because just the way life has gone for us in America. I mean, the country, it's gone down, but it's still wonderful if it's new to you. And so I think,
yeah, there's still great things about America. I mean, there's so many different. I mean, you can go, the West Coast, the ocean is beautiful. The Midwest is great. The mountains are great. I mean, there's so many things to see there.
But
so many beautiful cities, but a lot of the big cities have gone to crap because of the local government.
The sad thing is a lot of Filipinos go to the worst place and they're like, oh, it's very expensive here. Well, no, you're in the most expensive places in America by 5 times. You go to Los Angeles, you could be living in the worst part of Los Angeles, making a decent income because it's so expensive. It's not a quality of life for a normal person in Los Angeles. Same in Manhattan and New York City. And I've had, I got into a mini debate. I regretted even bothering to reply because I feel bad. But like a Filipino was saying, I make $100,000 a year and I live like, a poor, homeless person in New York City. It's like, well, you live in New York City. You gotta leave New York City. That's for, financial traders that are making $500,000 or a 2-lawyer family. That's not for normal people. You're gonna live a crappy life in New York. So it's much better than Saudi Arabia, Kuwait. Right? You're not going to get your passport, taken from you. I see a lot of Filipinos saying, "Oh, isn't there racism in America?" It's definitely no.
Not to the extent you would have.
You would think
the media
like
would
there's
make
like
you
the
believe.
media, like some woman showed like, oh, somebody spit at her, and it's like that's possible, but in 50 years I never saw anybody spit at an immigrant. So it's theoretically possible, but that's not reality. Less than half the people are white. Everybody else is from another country. Is a minority. It's not this horribly racist place. And I also see, sometimes Asians coming on saying, "Hey, people made fun of me because I had, something Asian, right?" And it's like, and it's so racist. It's like, dude, every white kid in school got called big nose, fat butt, big ears, red hair. Every kid in school got made fun of by how they looked, how they acted, how they talked.
Here's what. So that's
not racist. That's like welcome to America.
Yeah.
Kids are mean. So people like to say it's racist. I don't think you'll experience that there at all. I say it's a great place to go live, make wealth for 20 years, but don't expect a fantasy that you instantly have this super high quality of life, because it's really expensive to live there. But if you can just save 5-10% of your income, you're wealthy compared to the people in the Philippines, and you'll be able to come back, the money back, those kind of things.
So let's move on. So next question. Chillaxin with Tommy the Fed. So he says, hey, yeah, but based on our conversation and emails, BGC is the place I considered as home base for travel. You would know better with, as they say, boots on the ground, but after some time, might get bored. The visa situation is better to have the Philippines as a home base. Bangkok, you can spend a lot less time for a home base condo and have the savings go toward travel to other places. If you went from Bangkok to Vietnam for a week or so, would that be considered a visa? How long outside the country of Thailand to restart your 90-day visa? As always, my bro, I'm tuned into your stuff. Okay, bro. So this isn't really a Philippine question, but it's a Thai question. So from what I understand, you can go multiple times. You can take multiple trips out of the country via air and come back and start your visa process over again in Thailand. The neat thing about the Philippines, if you're here, you come in, if you're in one of those countries, I think there's 57 of them or 157 of them, that you can come into the Philippines with a visa-free entry, and you can stay for 30 days free, and then you can, if you want to stick around, you can stay for another 29 days. And at that point, if you want to stay, you can extend again for 30 to 60 days at a time. You have to get an HCR card, which is an alien certificate of registration ID card. But you can stay up to 36 months without ever having to leave the Philippines. 36 months, 3 years, without ever having to leave the Philippines on a tourist visa. So this is the most lax, the most friendly country in Southeast Asia, possibly in the world, to come and stay on a tourist visa. Now there's tons of other different visas. There's retirement visas, there's marriage visas, and but I can't talk to that because I don't have those. I'm on a tourist visa. So that's what makes the Philippines better than anybody else.
And they haven't changed it, really.
They haven't changed it. The only thing they've changed is now you used to be able to do a 6-month extension, but now they've postponed that. They don't do that anymore.
I just went today.
Did you get 6 months?
6 months.
There you go.
So yeah,
if not on your horse's mouth.
But
not saying he looks like a horse.
But yeah.
So Mr. Ed, tell us more.
So if anybody tells you that 6 months isn't allowed where they went, probably true. Or 3 months or 1 month. Everywhere you go, you're still stuck with the fact that who are you talking to?
It's different everywhere.
Everywhere you go in the Philippines, and what do they want to do, and how many fees do they want to collect? But unfortunately, it's not like a national. There's national rules, but they don't seem to follow them. But here in the BGC, I just spoke to him, and he said after your first 30 days extension, you can get a 1 month, 2 month, or 6 month.
Right.
And basically,
and that's what it was when I first moved here.
Yeah. And so,
but I've heard on several different blogs, YouTube channels, that they don't do the 6 month anymore. Now that might be in Dumaguete, they might not do that.
Dumaguete's different.
Yeah.
Dumaguete is like a local dude.
Yeah, it's some dude just like. So the mistake I made when I first moved here, and I stayed about 30 days, and then I extended 29, and then I went back, and it's like, instead of just going to hassle, which wasn't really a hassle, I walked 6 blocks to SMRA, go up to the 8th floor, go to the BI, fill out a form, hand it in, pay my fee, give them my passport. I pick it up 90 minutes later because I got the express. I paid the money and I got my extension. So it wasn't really a hassle, but I thought, I'll just do it for 6 months. 2 months into it, I fly to Thailand. So that ruined the whole thing. So I screwed up 4 months. I paid for 4 months. I didn't. I
paid 8,000 pesos.
Yeah, 8,000 pesos, which
$100, $120.
About 150. But anyway, it doesn't matter. 150 is that's 8,000 pesos. That's a good.
That was more than
here.
the flight to Thailand.
Yeah. So now I just do 1 month at a time, or if I know I'm not going to leave the country, maybe 2 months. So, that would be my advice to you if you like to travel like I do. And I do it on, my problem is I travel on a whim. It's like, I'll be sitting there, it's like, I think I told you the other day, it's like, look, flights to Kuala Lumpur, under $100 round trip. Book. It's like, what the hell are you doing, JJ?
Yeah.
So I just do things on a whim, that's
Plus
me.
you'll find out that your friends suddenly, nobody's talking about doing anything, and then, as soon as you get a 6 month visa, everyone's like, let's go to Hong Kong, let's go to Japan, let's go to, and so all of a sudden you're like wanting to go with them.
Or your friend will say, I am going to Thailand, and the next thing I know, all my friends are going to Thailand too. Yeah. It's like, oh, cool, let's all make a party out of it. But anyway, so that's what, the Thailand thing, you can fly out, you can do a ground one, but I think you can only do, and don't quote me on this, but I think you can only do 2 or 3 ground visa runs a year. And ground is like you take a bus to
ground is, it depends. If you're Filipino, you can only do it twice. The other people can do a few more.
Okay, all right. So, but the nice thing about Thailand is you're landlocked with a lot of other countries. So you can go to Laos, you can go to Malaysia, you can go to.
But Thailand's, there's just a lot of stories about Thailand, so it's not as straight clear as the Philippines.
Right.
Because some people
isn't straight clear either. But
you can stay here for 3 years, whether it's a month at a time,
clear.
or
that's clear.
Whether it's you can get a 6 month visa or not might be, might change based on where you're at.
Right.
But you can stay here for 3 years. Thailand is getting rid of, for a lot of people, like you go across the border, you stay for the day and come back. They're saying no, you didn't really leave if you did that on land. So I don't know. Thailand is changing all of their policies.
Okay, here's one. This is going to be a little controversial, especially to my buddies that are dating Filipina. This is from @hardmountainbiker. So he's talking about Filipina and being transactional. So it's like he goes, so true, it's transactional, and it was so refreshing what you pointed out. Now this was like 3 months ago, so it was a video I did like 3 months ago. Be realistic that a young Filipina is not attracted to a retired old man, especially those guys that are disabled and don't look like they're going to be able to travel or experience an active lifestyle. So that young Filipina that says age is just a number and looks don't matter, even though this young girl is beautiful and ambitious, while the delusional old man thinks she's in love with him, is probably just waiting it out or getting supported while she has the looks. So the transition is for her to allow an old man to have his fantasy of being with a beautiful, young, unattainable girl. And she will wait it out until that old man dies, and he eventually will. Then, if she hasn't left him and remained his caregiver as he aged, she will have a better life than she had living poor in the province or being a bar girl until she was too old to attract customers. Now, I want to qualify this statement. This is not from me. I'm just reading off of what this guy wrote. So, don't kill the messenger, in other words. So, rebuttal.
Well, there was a lot to that. I do think...
unpack it.
If you're 80 and you're in a walker and you meet a 21-year-old, she's not attracted to you and she's not interested in you.
No.
Okay? Now, but what does happen... but if he met her 20 years prior and she's 40 and now he's looking, broken apart. She may be with him for life,
Right. So, she's been with him for 20 years. you got to imagine they're together to the end.
Yeah, and you may look at it and say, oh, she's 40 and he's 80, but you know, back at a certain time, this was okay for her. And a lot of Filipinas don't forecast, they don't quite think like Americans do, like what's life going to be like in 10 or 20 years. They're trying, you know, they're figuring out life as it is today, and the average age of a Filipina is under the age of 25 in this country. So, you know, how far out were you thinking when you're 25? You know, so
I was thinking, what was I going to do tonight?
What am I going to do tonight, right? You know, so
I still think that way. What am I doing tonight?
So the way it works is they look at it and say, are you within what's acceptable to me? And if yes, then they date you. If there's pretty obvious exceptions to that, like what's too old.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that all you got?
There was more there that that was kind of a.
That was a lot to unpack.
That was a lot to unpack, but I think you're in a walker. Your 21-year-old's not in.
It's not necessarily that. I mean, I think generally speaking, what he's saying is a 20-year-old is not interested in a 65-year-old or a 60-year-old, other than somebody to take care of her until the next best thing comes along. Now, I'm not saying that that doesn't happen. I'm not saying that it's 100% true. There are Filipinas that are younger that will fall in love with an older man. I think so.
I think definitely.
I don't know if that's. I would want. Okay, so here's my challenge to anybody that's watching this right now, and probably not a lot of females. I only have about 15 or 20% female subscribers anyway. But if there's some females watching this, or if you know a female, a Filipina that's in the area, I would love to interview them to get some honest responses, because I watch videos all the time, and I watch them interviewing Filipinas, like, how do you feel about age gap relationships? How do you feel about dating a foreigner? How do you feel about dating a black man? How do you feel about dating blah, 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 blah. And they'll answer the way they think the interviewer wants, you know, the answer they want to hear. So I don't think they're completely honest with their responses. I want honest responses. So if you know anybody, or if you're somebody that wants to come on my channel, I would love to interview you. If you want to do it incognito, I'll blur out your face or whatever it takes, or I'll take you off camera. But I want some honest responses. So there's your channel.
I think hearing from people is wonderful, and hearing from Filipinas is wonderful.
Oh, it's great.
The only thing I would, well, if they're honest, but what I would say is, in my perspective, is a lot of people think their view is the right view, or is how everybody else thinks, and it's just not true. I just, you know, you need to gather a lot of different viewpoints, several interviews, because different people have a different what's acceptable from an age gap, what's not. It's kind of random.
Right. Yeah. That's what I mean. I want honest responses, because generally these Filipinas will answer the way they think the interviewer wants them to answer. So if you're a 65-year-old man, old fat guy, and you're asking a young Filipina, would you date an old fat guy? Oh, of course I would, because they don't want to hurt their feelings. Filipinos don't like confrontation. They don't like to hurt people's feelings, so they'll answer the way you want. So I want honest answers. So there you go. All right. So here's one. This is from Daniel Adisi at Daniel Adisi -PS6WQ. Says, I would like to see you do more condo hunting in Makati and BGC. Funny you should say that, Daniel. Because we've combined efforts with a realtor named Joy, and I just did a video. I haven't posted it yet, but I did one. She has a condo for rent in Bellagio, which is that way over in Forbstown, and we're going to get together with her and do some more videos. So we are going to start posting more videos for our condo rentals and buying condos in BGC, and I'll try to expand into Makati as well. I'm not sure what her area is.
It's all over Manila.
All over Manila. So there you go. So
she has like families that come from say Korea, Japan, and they're like, hey, drive me around, show me the different neighborhoods around, and show me all the different apartments.
Perfect. So, Daniel, that's coming up later this year, probably in the next month or so. So we will start doing more condo rental and buying opportunities in BGC and all over Manila. Probably close to BGC, Makati, Pasig, Mandaluyong. I generally don't get too far out of those areas.
Ortigas? What is Ortigas?
Ortigas is like Pasig, yeah.
Is it part of? It's not Mandaluyong. It's its own thing.
It's like there's Mandaluyong, there's Pasig, Ortigas is right in that area. I'm not sure if that's an actual city or not. It's above my grade. All right. Here's one. This is from Tarzan's Tunes, and I'm not sure what video he was looking at, but he says, "Never simp down by moving to a location to suit a panay. You are losing leverage and will be taken advantage of." So what say you?
You call me a simp? You're saying the simp should know, huh? No.
So if you know what a simp is, then you know what you know. So,
but
just understand that.
No,
look it up.
I don't know. I would say all very personal, random type of thoughts that could happen there. I don't know that necessarily means you're a simp. I just think it means. I mean, some people are simps. Some people definitely do whatever their Filipina tells them what to do, and I think that's not healthy for you. But I don't think just because you move to her family's hometown, that doesn't make you a simp. You may want to do that.
I think if you go into a relationship saying, "Hey, if things work out, eventually I would love to live in the province with closer to your family."
Yeah,
that's not being a simp. That's right. Being a guy that says, "Hey, I want to move to the province." If you're a guy that says, "I'm a city dude. I want to live in the city," and I find a girl and she's a province girl, and she says, "Oh, but I want to live in the province with my family." Okay, dear. Boom, move to the. That could be.
That's trouble.
Simpism.
Yeah, that's simpism, but there's a good chance you're not going to be happy. You're not making a decision for yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's a problem. I mean, and that's something if you have, and I can talk on experience on this. If you're
being a simp,
no. If you're a city guy like me, I grew up on a farm, but I love the city life. I love the convenience. And if you're dating a girl that has a farm and she wants to be on the farm, eventually you've got to make a decision on what are you going to do? Because if I move to the farm, I'm not going to be happy. If she stays in the city but wants to be on the farm, she's not going to be happy. So you have to have that conversation early on in a relationship. You have to make sure that you're both on the same page, because if you're not, eventually it's going to come to the top and things aren't going to go well. So just my word of advice. So anyway, and that's not simping down or anything. So let's see. Let's move on. You want to add anything to that before we?
Well, I do think you can have it early on, but I think if you fall in love with somebody and then you begin to trust somebody, you may change your mind. And so
I mean, if you truly love her, but true love and giving up everything you love to be with her,
she may change her mind.
And she may change her mind.
She may change. She may have come from, like, not to make us sound so worldly, but we do have experiences throughout life, and we've gone to different settings in life. A lot of the Filipinos are going to be younger that you're dating. They may only know one thing, and it takes a huge leap of faith to have a dream and a vision that aligns with yours. So you may need to give them some time to see if they ever do come up with the same dream that you have, and they trust you with that dream.
Okay, last one. This is from Tommy F. Hey bro, hey my bro. I'll be 62 on St. Patrick's Day, so happy birthday, happy belated birthday last week. My monthly income will be $2,600 US dollars. My dilemma is, should I wait for more monthly with my pension and Social Security? So, $2,600, you could live here in BGC on $2,600 a month, and you can live comfortably. My question would be back to you, Tommy, is if you came here now, does that pension go away if you leave it now, or will you get it down the road and your income will increase down the road, or how does that work? Because if you can come here now on the $2,600, and then a year or 2 years or whenever you start getting your pension and Social Security, and you can add on top of that $2,600, then go for it. As long as you've got, and I'm posting a video in a couple of weeks or a week or two on moving out here. As long as you have a good savings to go along with that monthly income, then you'll be good, because you're going to need that. You're going to need that extra money when you move here, because there's expenses. First of all, the airline ticket. It's going to be expensive just to move out here. Anything you move here is going to cost. Then you got to find a place to live. So you're going to stay in an Airbnb or a Goda or a hotel for a week or two before you find a place. Then you got to pay 1 month's advance rent, 2 months deposit generally. So there's going to be a pretty large expense when you first get out here. So make sure you've got.
Sounds like 10 grand. You need 10 grand.
10 grand.
I'm just making up a number.
Yeah, that's probably a good number to start with. But then you have to have that emergency fund in case you need to go back right away.
Depends on healthcare. Like you should probably have.
Healthcare is an issue. So, but if you've got the opportunity, if you've got that savings that you can use that, and then that $2,600 a month is a good number. You can live comfortably even here in BGC on that. And then if you've got a pension or your Social Security later on down the road when you turn 65 or 66 or 7 or whatever, on top of that, good on you. I mean, then you're set. I mean, that's
$2,600 is a lot for Thailand and the Philippines.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not living.
You're not living in poverty.
You're not living in poverty. I don't know where he lives in the United States, but
I'm not sure if he's.
But if he even has a house, like it's already paid for, like he may have a lot of money. But but so $2,600 is good here, and then you just have to look at it. You're talking to different people with different perspectives. I'm not even retired, and I'm in my 50s. But I looked at it and thought, I looked at it as a quality of life. Like I'm healthy enough to walk on the beaches. I'm healthy enough to travel places and climb the mountains. I want to do that while I can. Right. I don't want to worry about getting to 2,700 or 2,800, and then realize one day my joints went bad and I can't do those things. But that's up to you and your family history and everything else. For me, it was if I had 2,600, I would move to paradise. I wouldn't wait for more money.
I feel the same way. In fact, that's what I did. I'm older than you. I retired early. I was going to work till I was 70. That was always my plan. Work till you're 70, get the full amount of your benefits, and you'll be set. But when I moved here for work, and I worked a year, and then when my job ended, I was tired of the stress. I was tired of work. I've been working 50-some years straight. I was just tired of it. So it's like, well, if I retire early, let me put a pen to paper and figure out a budget. Can I do this? And staying here in BGC, in the Philippines, or anywhere in Southeast Asia, I could live a good life with my pension, retiring at an early age. So I did it, So you have to figure that out yourself. You have to figure out, can you live on a budget? And the one thing I would tell you, I'll tell everybody, is that when you come here, don't live like you're on vacation. Live like you're living here.
Yeah.
Because if you live like you're on vacation, you're going to blow through money like nobody's business. Like a drunken sailor in Subic Bay.
Yeah.
So live like you live here. Don't live like you're on vacation. Then you'll spend less money. You'll be a little more frugal, and your budget will work for you. So that would be.
And age
big
62,
advice.
there's going to be a very large group of Filipinos. I mean, depending on your situation here, you know.
And depending on your health and what you look like, don't come in looking like a slob and wear. I got to tell you, you got to dress like you're not a freaking homeless person. Okay, I see that all the time. Not so much in BGC. You never see that in BGC, but you see that in the provinces. You see that in Dumaguete. These guys are retired and they're dressing like.
When other expats are taking pictures, it looks like a serial killer. This guy looks scary.
Yeah, or like he's lost his soul.
Yeah.
But he dresses like he got his clothes at Goodwill or Salvation Army.
Stains all over him.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's like, dress up a little bit. Take a little pride in yourself, and you're going to find a girl that's going to be nice because she's going to look at you and it's like, oh, you're top shelf material.
Right. 62 is still a great age.
Yeah.
It's a great age
it's
to
young.
be here.
It's young now.
And then you've got a couple years to figure out things, you know, before you get to a point where it becomes more difficult. You've still got lots of years here.
All right. So there's your mailbag for this week. So we're at Wolfgang's in BGC, right off High Street, and invite you to come and enjoy happy hour. And you get the discount draft beer, and you got the chips with the barbecue, the special made barbecue. And thanks for watching our video. I'm JJ, the Lonely Bull in Asia, and this is my special guest today, Steve from Hello-Paradise. So, got anything to finish with, Steve? Any words of advice?
No. Move to the Philippines, live a good life. It is paradise, in fact.
Yeah,
that would be
it is paradise. It's awesome. All right, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Mabuhay. Live life, my friend.